All right, perfect. Hello and welcome everybody to the Breakthrough to Blossom webinar come workshop. Here we are going to be working on the 12 empowering ways where we can get our power back in life, where we can step into our true self and take control of our life and shape our life exactly the way we want it to. Said in other ways, let's be the cause maker and not the order taker in life. And that's what we are going to be talking about today. The topic itself is very, very dear to me, also because it is, like the whole workshop today, the whole webinar today is going to be a direct, synopsis of my international best-selling book, Blossom into Your Unique Self: The Power of Creating Holistic Wealth. This is a book dear to my heart, and it is a transformational story of my own journey of how I have traveled different countries, how I have made my living into a completely foreign country amidst foreign people, and not only just made my life here, but also become very, very successful. So it just is a wonderful way for me to share a little bit of my story with you guys, and at the same time learn a little bit about you and help you guys along the way as to how I found my power and how I can help you find yours too. So, before further ado, let's dive in. If you are watching this live right now, or even if you are going to watch it later on, you feel free to work this alongside with us while we are, working through some of these things while we are discussing in our workshop today. So feel free to have a pen and paper right by your side, and feel free to take notes as you feel appropriate, and also some action items that you can be taking forward. So let's dive right in. Breakthrough to blossom. Blossoming into our unique self is the true purpose of our life. And that is my life motto, only because I have lived life enough in a way where I was at cause, where I was really, just taking people's, you know, taking letting life happen to me, taking people into my life without having boundaries, responding to people, reacting to situations without really thinking things through. So the idea here is to really understand who we are, and then get out into the world and connect with others from that unique true nature of ours. So that is the journey here today. The first step that we are going to do here before we can go further is we are going to take a second to really evaluate ourselves, to really understand where is it that we are in life today in all these different aspects of our life. We have uh, we have a life which we live in different compartments. We think of health as a totally different department in our life, wealth as something different, career as something different, relationships, family, network, spirituality, personal development, and so on. We think of all of these as different aspects to our life, which they truly are, but all of them are also working together in conjunction, which is why it's like a wheel. It's cyclical in nature. They're all interconnected, and they're all also interdependent. So we get to take some time to really evaluate and understand how exactly are these connected, and where do we truly stand in all of these different aspects of our life, so that we get to understand what is the key area we want to focus on. So go ahead and evaluate your life, and see what aspects of your life do you really want to focus and improve on, and then with that lens you can move ahead into the workshop. All right, so what we are going to be talking about here today is simply understanding what is the meaning of a breakthrough. Like, I really wanted to keep it as simple as that and understand what do we truly mean by a breakthrough. When we are wanting to break from certain things, meaning we are already feeling stuck and suffocated. And most of my clients have this issue of they feel very stuck in life. where does that stuck feeling appear in life from? We have to understand what is it that we are doing or that we are letting happen to us that is creating that stuck and immobility in life. So for that we have to understand what is it that we can break through from. And when we break through from some of these small little limiting things, then we are able to really make big differences in life and blossom into our unique self. So truly understanding what is it that we want to break through from, deconstructing our entire mental construct is what we are after here. So here I present to you an idea of what all is firstly breaking us. Why are we not able to function at our optimum? Why are we not able to really be our true self of the one that is all knowing, that is all happy, and that is all able to live life without any fears or any other limiting beliefs? So the problem, according to me, that I have understood is that we spend a lot of time believing in others. When we believe in others, we let them really shape who we think we are in life. And that is extremely detrimental to the fact of how we can be actually living life and who we are. Owning up to who we are becomes very, very difficult when we start believing in others, and when we start believing in what others are sharing with us is in fact true, without really introspecting with our own selves. So that is the number one issue, which is like we believe in others. And the R stands for reacting to other people's comments, their thoughts, their opinions of us. Like we don't really, we all have a choice. We have a choice to not really accept what other people are talking about. We have a choice to not really take in exactly what others are feeling, because it's purely just their opinion and not the reality. So understanding the difference between other people's opinions and the actual reality is also going to be something that we can look into, so that we can get an experience, a breakthrough in life. Now, the other aspect that we do is we engage in small talk. And when what I mean by engage in small talk is that we really are letting people and letting others, talk about us, talk of us, and talk to us in a way which is not necessarily always very encouraging. So if we are engaging in small talk, or we are sharing opinions to others, we are talking about others in a way without knowing the complete truth, is and being judgmental is also very detrimental to who we are, because what we say, how we say it, and how we really do every day to day activities is who we truly become. And if we are engaging into these things, if we are reacting, we are not really using our potential at the optimum. And therefore, with this being our continuous cyclical nature, we tend to really get stuck, and we tend to feel like we are small ourselves, even though that may or may not be our intent while doing this, or while sharing this about others. So just wanted to share that this is all extremely important when we are wanting to become more mindful and aware of our stuck states. All right. And then the other one, which was a very eye opening one, is to avoid conflicts. We are avoiding conflicts that need to happen. We really need to sometimes face the fears and really take on some of the things that are really needing a strict resolve. Like, for example, if we do not have boundaries, if we do not have certain limitations that we have put ourselves around, then what happens is we are just literally getting into people pleasing. And if we get into people pleasing, if we get into being a yes person, if we get into all of that, we run into an imposter syndrome issue, because then life starts to really not make sense, because then we think that everything that is happening to us is happening by chance and not by our doing. So really getting into the idea and the habit of not avoiding the conflicts that need to happen. Yes, to avoid conflicts that are not necessary, sure, that is great, but to face our fears and to do the hard work is definitely something that we get to work towards. And K is that we kill our true desires many times. At least that is true for me and for many of my clients that I have worked with. We kill our true desires in the name of the family, in the name of society, in the name of traditions, and so on and so forth. We continuously keep on killing a small little part of us that is wanting to do something different, that is wanting to say something, do something, act some in a certain manner, and we stop ourselves from doing that with the fear of judgment, with letting our limiting emotions and negative emotions drive us, like, we are no good, we will be laughed at, we will be we will be put into a tough spot there, and so on and so forth. Those are some of the challenges that we an internal dialogue that we process and we run through, which is where we start, like, curbing ourselves from our full expression. And I do think that these are the things that break us down. And these are the things that we need truly a breakthrough from. So now, if you guys are following along, what I'd like for you to do is grab your pen and paper and really look into your own life and think about what are the times when you are, you know, believing in others more than yourself. What are the times, or how much time do you really react to other people's comments rather than responding to yourself? So just think through your own life, do a little bit of a reflection about your own life, and see how are all these things, are they, first of all, a problem that you are encountering in life? Is this or any version of this something that is stopping you from being who you truly are at all times? So think through some of those things, make a note. And also, I always encourage people to write, like, I believe in others, or I listen to them about 10% of the time, about 10 um, about 50% of the time I am, reacting to other people's comments rather than processing the whole thing myself. So when we look into those numbers, and when we just add some tangible data around it, then and it could be anecdotal purely, it could be something that you, because nobody knows your life better than you do. So highly recommend for you to do a little bit of a reflection here, and take the time to go through some of these things in your life. Look at where your life could be breaking, essentially. And here I do want to present you a different idea, uh, which would be the contradictory idea of what we just spoke about, which is, instead of believing in others, how about we believe in ourselves? Once we start believing in ourselves, then the whole story starts to change. If you guys are following me along, you'll see what is the logical sequence here. Like, firstly, we try to understand what is it that is breaking us, what is it that is putting us into a stuck state. And then now we are looking at what are the things that we need to break through from. So what are the habits, what are the thought processes, what are the beliefs that we need to essentially break and come out of. So if we start changing the narrative in our head, if we start making small little shifts in our day-to-day life, and start understanding, how much do I believe in myself instead of believing in others? Like, when you do the comparative exercise of, how much do I believe in others versus how much do I believe in myself? How am I reacting to other people's comments versus how am I truly responding to the situation? How am I really engaging in small talk versus how am I truly evaluating my own thoughts? Once you start doing this comparison exercise, you start to understand that you are going to be able to really see where you'll be able to dissect it for yourself and understand where is it that your energy is getting stuck and where it is getting consumed, and therefore you're not able to live up to your complete potential, because these are necessarily energy blockages that are really not allowing you to fully be yourself and really get into a situation where people are able to understand you, and you are even first of all able to understand your own self. So my whole process here, even with the book and with this webinar, is to really encourage you to start reflecting on your own life in your own self and understand where is it that some of these blockages are for you. So let's just dissect our life for a little bit and try to understand where is it that we can where are the opportunities that we can work through, turn the narrative around in our heads, in our life, put some things into action that we can take inspired action from some of the reflections that we have made, and let's see how we can change our life around. So that is the idea here. Like, continuing forward, again, a is avoiding, instead of avoiding conflicts, how can we avoid negative people and negative situations in our life? What can we truly do about that? When we start thinking about what is it that, making a list of people that are not helping us grow is definitely a list to have. Like, we have to have a running list of people that we need to literally purge out of our life if they are not helping us, if they are not supporting us, and if they are not really helping us grow. And then, instead of killing our true self little by little, how about we kindle new positive relationships that infuse life into our life? Like really, that help us see the light, that help us really become positive, that help us become self confident again, and truly empower us. So once we start thinking along the lines of how can we truly, instead of giving in and breaking through life, let's break through life and let's really take power into our own hands, and let's take situation into our own control. So when we start thinking about life in this way, where are my blockages, what is it that I can do, what do I need to really break from? We all, people come and tell me that we need a breakthrough, we need to experience a breakthrough. Sure, I mean, I help them with breakthrough sessions, and we do exactly these things. We discuss exactly what is stopping them, and then we do certain exercises to help them release their limiting beliefs, their fears, their thoughts. Because some of the time, and even many times actually, people in their life, because what happens is, the people we surround ourselves with is the story that we start believing in about our own selves. So it is very, very important to take that control back into our life. The thing that we forget is that we have a choice. We have a choice to either, like we were just discussing, we have a choice to either believe in others or to believe in ourselves. We have a choice to either react or to respond. We have a choice either to engage in small talk or to evaluate. We have a choice. You know, my whole purpose here is for you to see, that there is a choice that we can make. And believe it or not, our life is exactly shaping up to be the way it is. Either it is in a stuck state or is it in a happy state. Either you're feeling great about yourselves or you're feeling miserable. All of that, because of the choices that we make, is completely and totally our responsibility. So encouraging people to think about, you know if you really want to take control of your own life, this is the best way to empower yourselves, by exercising the right of choice, by understanding that there is always an option, and that you can always make life happen to you. Sorry, you can always make life, the way you want it to. You can always shape it the way you want it to, rather than just letting situations happen to you and let life pass by you. So definitely take a moment, to go through some of this in your own life, to reflect again upon. I highly encourage people to have like a comparison chart where they see that, 10 times of my life, 10% of the times I'm listening to others versus 90% of the time I'm listening to myself, and so on. Like, make this comparison so that you can figure out for your own self where is it that there are where there is room for improvement, and where there is something that you can seek help out of. So even when you go to somebody, say for example a coach or a mentor, and you really need help in life, they will really appreciate this clarity. They will really like to know what exactly I used to, and not that they cannot help you shed light onto some of these things and help you further refine and think through some of these things. But initially, showing them the eagerness of, you have done some homework, it gives you clarity, it gives the other person clarity, and you guys can work together along beautifully. So this is a very great reflection exercise for us to do anyway. Okay, now um, we have looked at what the break stands for. Let's move on to how we can get through some of these things, right? So I am going to, um, so that you guys can see my screen clearly. Okay, perfect. Okay, so these are some of the things that we are going to do, or that I did personally, that helped me, and I am pretty sure it'll help you. Is, I tried new things and I pushed my boundaries. And when I say that, it just, what it did for me was it brought me the power that I didn't think I had. So it just opens up a new array of possibilities, of new opportunities that you don't even think are possible. And I mean that not only in the physical, real world, but also in the spiritual realm. It really opened up a vast majority of ideas for what I can do with my life, how I can shape my career, how I can shape my relationships, and so on and so forth. So it definitely opens up a wide area of opportunity that we are ourselves often unaware of. So, trying new things, encouraging you to really, really look into the mundane, schedule, life, habits, and try to break through from it by doing one new thing each day, one new thing that you haven't done before. Like maybe, for example, I joined an improv class, right? And I'm doing improv, and I have always been a fan of comedy, and I just really love that, because now I get to go on the stage and really be myself, and really try something new, try something different each time. So trying something new is definitely a way that will empower you, that will make you feel fresh, that will make you feel confident in your own self, because once you see yourself through, you will really find the confidence that nobody else could have ever gifted you with. So definitely encourage you to try new things. And then we we are here, we've always heard, and it is conditioning, societal conditioning, our family conditioning, and so on, where we are always taught to help others and give others, and which we definitely must. But what we are hardly told to do is to really accept help as well. You know, when we are in a position where we can hire others, we can accept help from others, that's when there is a different sense of humility that dawns within us. And that cannot happen until and unless we start accepting help, until and unless we start understanding that we don't have to do it all alone, that we have support, and that we can really reach out to others and connect with others in a meaningful way that can enrich our lives and that can make a difference. So definitely encourage you to seek. This is something that truly helped me once I started to accept help from others, once I started to become aware of the idea that I could reach out, and that, once I got above the limiting belief of, oh, I'm so afraid that they'll say no, or oh, I'm so afraid, why would somebody want to help me? I was very wrong, and I wasted years and years of my life just believing that I have to do it all by myself. I become independent. That was one of the mantra that I received at early on in my life. So becoming independent, we sometimes often twist the meanings of the words, and it is completely up to our interpretation as to what and how do we want to really understand some of these concepts that we are taught since childhood. So definitely looking into accepting help is going to really open up a lot of different opportunities in terms of becoming more and more humble, and therefore letting help come to us. It's something that I cannot emphasize enough as to how important it is. So definitely consider doing that. And then radiate love and non-judgment. I think one of the best compliments that I've ever received is that I can hold space for others, and I can be completely non-judgmental in what they are sharing. So vulnerability is something that everybody values. And once we are able to create that space for others, we are able to really connect with them at much deeper levels. And it not only really brings in a different kind of enrichment to our own life, but it can many times save the other person's life. So definitely radiate love. I mean, there is a lot of it that we have in ourselves, that we have the capability to give. So let's exercise that, and let's give out love, and let's be non-judgmental. Let's do what we expect from others, to really accept us for who we are without any judgments. So starting by doing that our own selves is going to really help us. And believe me or not, all of these things that we are talking about are extremely empowering things, and these are all small little switches. My idea here was not to really turn things around in your life, but to definitely turn them around in a very, very subtle, small, positive way, one step at a time format. And that's really what we are doing. Just putting some ideas out there, just sowing some seeds in your head, just to see what out of all of this resonates most deeply with you. We are going to be talking about 12 different things. We have spoken about five, and we are just running through the other seven. And out of all of these different steps and tips, pick any one, if not all, and see what is it that you can make change, just one change in your life, and look at the impact that it will make. And you can see the change for yourself and experience the expansion for your own self. So all right, moving on to the O. Okay, so O stands for offering assistance and helping others. And that's something that we just spoke about here, where we're talking about hiring others and accepting help. And that and this is also being on the other side, where we are offering assistance and helping others. And this is not just limited to doing like somebody any favors or anything like that, but actually bringing and making service an active part of our life, an important part of our life. So inculcating these values in kids of helping others, and really understanding that if we are programmed to help others in a way where it becomes our second nature, it definitely helps us build some really strong relationships in life, which is again going to be helpful as to how we can improve our life by really surrounding ourselves with people who believe in us. And the best way to gain somebody's acceptance and belief is by doing things for them. So there is no other way out but for actually practically walking the walk and helping people with in any and every way that we can, truly. So that is the O. U stands for understanding others and empathizing with others. So what I truly mean by that is when we are understanding others and empathizing with them, just from the sake of really understanding where is it that they could be truly coming from. So we do an exercise with my clients where I walk them through perceptual positions and look at the same situation in three different angles, just so that we can see, what the situation looks like from where I am seeing it versus, where the other person is coming from, and from a third non-judgmental position where none of the two parties are involved and they're just observing from a third person point of view. Once we start doing those things, we start to really understand that, we start to understand what where the other person is coming from, and we really stop, seeing intentions behind their mistakes. We can really truly help, uh, you know help them grow, but also forgive them. And when we are able to forgive others just because of understanding where they are coming from, it helps us. Believe me or not, forgiveness is a huge way to empower our own self. Like, by forgiving others, we take our power back. We are able to really take control of our life. So that's what I really mean by empathizing and understanding others. All right. Now, G is go within. There are, you know, many people that really, have been living so much of an outward life that we forget that we do have an inner voice. We do have support system within us that we don't really even tap into. So understanding that there is an opportunity for us to really tap into that source that is within us, and to understand who is it that we truly are. Doing some introspection, this is, of course, I'm talking about it from a spiritual angle, and really understanding what is it exactly that I want in life, and how exactly am I going to be able to achieve that, and what people will I need around me, and what are the situations that I will need to create, and what are the resources that I will be needing, and so on and so forth. Everything is an exercise of going in and checking with your own self, just to make sure it truly resonates. Once we start building the habit of going within and checking in often with our own selves, we will see that our imposter syndrome just takes care of its own self, because we will then be so true to who we truly are, that not only will our work and not only will our actions really, be in alignment with who we truly are, but it will also we'll also start getting some higher intuitive guidance from within us, and which is always there. It's just a matter of going within and tapping into that. So highly encourage you to do that. Meditation is a great way to do that. I have been meditating for the past 15 years, and there is absolutely nothing that can take away that joy from me, of meditating, and of really, spending the time with ourselves. I get to redefine my me time, and really, that has become my meditation time. So highly encourage you to check out if you have not. And if you are already doing that, then definitely see what more opportunities can you access, what other things can you do, in that realm. How can you grow spiritually, how can you nourish your soul? So definitely, thinking about that is going to be very, very helpful in taking your power back, and in truly experiencing a breakthrough. And then H stands for honoring ourselves. We take ourselves so much for granted that the person in the mirror is the last person we think about. And many times, we that could also again be due to the conditioning that we have experienced in childhood, societal conditioning, again family conditioning, as to, like, we have always been taught to put ourselves last, because thinking about our own self is considered selfish. I mean, taking away from others for our own selves, perhaps maybe is selfish, but, honoring ourselves and keeping ourselves out there at first, just so that we can, if we are fine, we will be able to ensure that others are fine too. As they say, classic, that, wear your own oxygen mask with before you help others. It is the same way. If we truly want to honor and love and respect others, we got to start with our own self. And that is a completely different level of of understanding, of self-awareness first of all, and then of understanding what all is possible for us in life. What else can we do to truly really you know honor ourselves in a way where we start commanding that respect from others, rather than having to beg for it or seek it in other indirect ways. I think if we can start reflecting that true peace within our own selves, then it would definitely be of great importance to others as well. It will definitely tell them how you would like to be treated as well. So, with that, definitely take some time out to again journal through some of these things and see how do you fare. Like, are you trying new things? If yes, can you do something more? Are you pushing your boundaries? Are you challenging yourself? If yes, great. If not, how can you start doing that? The idea here is to again encourage you to introspect, encourage you to journal, write some of these things down, and noodle over them. Think about what is it that you can do to really broaden your horizon, to really take things back into your control, exercise that right of choice that you guys have, and really shape your life the way you want it to be. Okay, so now my question to you ultimately, and please journal this if you mind, is: who are you truly? Are you an action taker? Ask yourself this. Are you a change maker? Are you happening to life, or is life happening to you? If you answer these questions and be completely honest with you, these questions can be like, some a part of your daily journal, a part of your introspective exercise when you do in certain aspects of your life. Say for example, you're talking about career, or you're talking about your health, so on and so forth. All of these questions will be exactly applicable to you in either and all of those contexts. So definitely encourage you to think through some of these things and see if you really are capable of um, having a breakthrough first of all, and of needing one, and if yes, breakthrough from what. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this is something that you found value in, and something that I think will help you. So do let me know if there are any questions, any comments. I'm open to all of that.
Thank you, Falguni. Please just let us know where the people can reach you before I stop the live stream.
People can reach me on my website. It's falgunikatira.com. I can also be reached out on LinkedIn by Falguni Katira, on Facebook, Instagram. I can be found at all the social channels.
Thank you very much. Now I will stop the live stream, and Carrie and Simfon, who are in the Zoom room, please prepare and ask your questions. Let me